Heave ho, heave ho. Oh brother, oh brother, oh brother. Folks.
Folks. What an afternoon. I think this is going to be a real fun stream. Man, okay. So there's a lot of craziness right now with like this lawsuit, this SEC, that SEC, Robinhood, Citadel, these meme stock traders getting in trouble, like Vlad just being a boy from Bulgaria, Ken Griffin, it's trending, I think. Ken Griffin lied, that's trend. Like we are all over the map. And I just spent the last couple hours diving into it. I was calling up people, and I'm kind of in the middle of like, I guess, this research, and I just want to let everyone know where I'm at now. So that's kind of how I'm going to structure this stream, is like with evidence. I'm trying to show you all my sources, everything I've actually uncovered, instead of just like random ass screenshots and opinions and things trending and everyone bandwagoning. I'm attempting in this one. I went deep down this rabbit hole. I just spent hours going into this rabbit hole, and it's not over. Like this is like, I don't know, a halftime break, a quarter one break. Like I'm on a quick timeout to let you guys know where I'm at, because really what I've been doing in the background, more so instead of just like my own little like sleuthing around the internet, reached out to a couple like lawyers involved in what's going on to see if we can get a discussion about everything. So that's kind of where we're at. This is not by any means like the end all be all update of all of that, of anything SCC and Citadel and Ken Griffin and Vlad and Robinhood and all that. But we do have a fair amount of things to go over, just so we're like, at least up to this point, 2 p.m. on Monday, the 27th, at least so we're all on the same page. Because I think when it comes to things like this, we're talking about serious money. We're talking about billions of dollars. We're talking about like potential actual jail time. Like this is all, like this isn't anymore in the league of just, hey, like kind of just messing around, haha, jokes. Like this is it. So I think it's fair for everyone involved, no matter whose side, whatever's going on, just for all of us to have like a little bit of truth to the actual scenario of what we're seeing. So I'm excited as people are rolling in. Hang on one second. Let me get this. I always forget to tweet this out. Just I'm not in the mode I'm in. Hang on. AMC, GME. Let's do this thing. All right. I guess before we hop into it, maybe I should give you the quick like technical Vortex update, all of that, just so we all have a little bit of basis before I go real deep into some of these things that we found. So AMC currently trading at $39.75, GME currently trading at $188.54. AMC's been kind of pegged to $40. I want to see that break out basically at $41.50 and then a gap fill up to $44.20 in the short term. GME, we know there's a region of resistance between $188, $190. It's at $188.50. It's at that level. I want that break above $190. A little bit of a hiccup at $195, but I'm looking for the magnet of $200 to like kind of come into effect for GME. In terms of the overall market, so ever since I guess 11 this morning, the SPY was selling off and now it's bouncing. I just want to kind of let you know some of the things that was happening right here. In terms of the overall market, White House says Chinese president brought up Ming case in a call with U.S. President Biden. White House, when asked with who, I don't know how to say that name. I'm always weird about like pronouncing things wrong. So I'd rather just not like offend a bunch of people and completely butcher the enunciation. But right here, Fed Williams says tapering bonds buying may soon be warranted. Fed Williams says conditions to support rate increase still lie well off. So this is all in reference to the rate hike most likely not happening for a full year, the end of 2022. But we know potentially as early as November, they might start the tapering of asset purchases. None of this is new. Like this was all well discussed and documented right with the FOMC meeting minutes and Powell speaking right after. Tapering most likely happening soon, and that'll gradually take place all the way up until like mid next year of when they really end it. And then they're looking for like the bar, the economic bar of how strong our overall economy is performing for them to actually be like, all right, maybe it's time to raise the rates here. That is more going to happen, it looks like a year from roughly now, roughly. All right, what else do we have? Fed says labor market still shy of substantial further progress for taper threshold. Says helpful to labor markets may soon meet the mark to commence bond tapering. We know this. We're talking about November. It's not a big deal. White House Democrats discussing financial means test for some reconciliation agenda items to lower costs. Discussion include income caps on free community college, child tax credits, and electric vehicle rebates. So we just have some overall, I guess, high-level macroeconomic, comments throughout the day from the various points. And if you check out the time of seeing kind of what's going on, it's not much of a surprise that it lines up pretty well with what we're seeing here. You could check the SPY, you could check IWM, you could check the Qs. Honestly, IWM is having a great day. The Russell 2000, very solid, looking strong. The Qs, as in the NASDAQ 100, probably the weakest out of these three that we're talking about, but still looks like potentially wants to go green. It's down 0.7% on the day, but we have the SPY bending back around. Tesla is crushing it right now. I let my Discord know. I was like, hey, I've had a very storied relationship with Tesla. It's not healthy. It takes my money. I keep giving it money. I think our relationship's going to change, but it's always that. It's always give, take. And it's not like a two-way street. But I am happy to report that I have once again started my love affair with Tesla. If I'm being honest, I'm ready to be hurt again. I'm going into this fully understanding that Tesla's going to take money from me. And once again, all of you are going to be here, hopefully, fingers crossed, to help me pick up the shattered pieces of my heart as they're on the ground. But that's what I'm looking at in Tesla. I'm ready to go. I'm once again long on Tesla. I bought some options. And I want to start things off slow this time. I feel like every time I get into a relationship with Tesla, it's super hot and heavy from the start. And I think maybe this time, if I just take it a little bit easier on this particular trade, I got in a little bit earlier midday. I'm looking for 800. Maybe just lock in a couple tendies and just see how the two of us have been lately. So we're seeing how this is going, but I just wanted everyone to know. So currently, I'm actually all four things you see on the screen, I'm long on: AMC, GME, Tesla, and SPY. I am long on all of these as we speak. But anyway, let's talk about some of the other stuff. I just wanted to, hang on, let me give you the Vortex numbers on AMC and GME. Okay, AMC, they borrowed 2.07, but it's a net return of 378,000, short interest of 20.4%. GME, they've borrowed 260,000, a net borrow of 175, short interest 13.77%. So I just wanted to go over those numbers very quickly, just so like we all know what's up and what's happening. But now, all right, let me get focused. Let me bring you down the rabbit hole that I've been going in. So I need to, I guess, split this up into two important things, because you're hearing about the SEC, Robinhood, Citadel, people getting sued, meme traders, like it's all over the map. And I found that the easiest way is to split this into two distinct halves. The first, well, it's not really half. The first, I guess, 10th, it's a lot shorter. This was by our boy Jim Cramer. SEC goes after meme trader for wash sale violations that SEC is watching. The second one, that's just a hit against our community. Don't worry about it. But like, if you're hearing about SEC and people getting sued and meme trader, like I understand how it could get all conflated as the same thing. This, what he's referring to, is a very, very, I guess, distinct thing. And actually, here I found the actual press release from the SEC. SEC charges 2 individuals for wash trading scheme involving options of meme stocks. So I think because of the name, the SEC, like that's how it's all getting put together. But once again, this is its own distinct narrative, its own distinct storyline. And I just want you to know what it's about. But it is breaking today. It came out on the 27th. The SEC today charged a Florida resident and his friend for engaging in a fraudulent scheme designed to collect liquidity rebates from exchanges by wash trading put options of certain meme stocks in early 2021. This is the last name of one of the individuals, Gu. I'm just going to call him G. I don't know how to say this name. G allegedly then devised a scheme to take advantage of the maker-taker program offered by exchanges by trading options of these stocks with himself. So basically, he noticed that there was a crazy amount of volume and volatility in meme stocks, and he understood what this program is, the maker-taker. Basically, for providing liquidity, he's getting rebates, but he was taking the liquidity from himself. So it was completely artificial, but he was getting the kickback, and it was to a hefty tune. Under the maker-taker program, a trade order that is sent to an exchange and executes against a I can't even say this word, subsequently. All right, we're just going to skip over that now. Subsequent, this is going to get frustrating. Received order makes liquidity and generates a rebate from the exchange. And in contrast, an order that immediately executes against a pre-existing order takes liquidity and is charged a fee. So it's right in there. In contrast, an order that immediately executes against a pre-existing order takes liquidity and is charged a fee. So he was playing the game with himself in this. And that's how he's getting money. It's a rebate. So you're going to hear some discussions about payment for order flow of like, hang on, like, other markets have it and they just call it like a rebate. Like we do have these other things that are kind of like, hang on, you're providing liquidity to the market and like certain kickbacks for doing it. And this is a style of one. The maker taker, it's well known, it's well documented. This isn't like that crazy of like he unearthed some big secret. Moving on, I found this part to be kind of the most interesting. The complaint alleges that G executed approximately 11,400 trades with himself, netting at least 660, let's call it 9,000 in liquidity rebates. And that Lee, that's his like co-conspirator, executed approximately 2,300 trades with himself, netting 51,000 in liquidity rebates. In addition to collecting these ill-gotten rebates, the wash trading scheme allegedly impacted the market as it skewed the volume in a certain option contracts and induced other traders to place trades in an otherwise illiquid options contract. So they were doing this with put options, just so everyone knows. As alleged in our complaint, G and Lee engaged in a deceptive wash trading scheme to game the exchanges, maker-taker programs, and take advantage of market conditions associated with meme stocks trading. And this was given by someone who works at the SEC. But right here, so this is, yes, did it involve meme stock traders? Yeah, but it wasn't people actually involved in the movement and meme stocks. These were people taking advantage of rebates, and basically they were falsely providing liquidity. And when you provide liquidity, that is a beneficial service for a market. Like, you want liquidity. Liquidity is basically the ease in getting out of a stock, the ease of getting in and out of an option. The more liquid it is, the more easily you can trade, especially more and more money. So providing liquidity is a good thing, but they were falsely providing liquidity in the options market. And they were just, it's false because they were basically, it was a scheme between themselves, and they were taking advantage of like the little kickback you get for providing liquidity. And we're talking over $700,000. So the SEC tracked them down, caught them. That's what it is. This is what Kramer's referring to. And like I said, this is a very, very distinct thing rather than what the news and everyone's talking about right now. And on Twitter, I believe it's trending that Ken Griffin lied. So think of this as one individual thing. And then the Ken Griffin, I mean, how do I see this? Explore. I think it's trending right now. Where do we have it? Trending right here. Ken Griffin. So it's the hashtag Ken Griffin. I mean, I saw it as Ken Griffin lied, but now it's just Ken Griffin. Like, yeah, it seems, I don't know why Ken Griffin lied isn't coming up for me. That's really weird. So this is super, super interesting. Twitter is actually changing what is trending. This is crazy. So people obviously have the screenshots that it's Ken Griffin lied, but they're just showing it as Ken Griffin. Whoa, whoa, whoa. They changed it. That is crazy. That's messed up, man. All right. So what is this about? Well, there's two, I guess, let me paint the picture for you. So it all started with this right here. The CEO, Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel Hedge Fund, Citadel Securities, basically Citadel, upon being asked if he had contact with the CEO of Robinhood, Vlad, the boy from Bulgaria, he clearly stated, "Let me be perfectly clear, absolutely not." So that's the official statement. Back in whenever it was, the earlier part of the year, we were all listening to it when Roaring Kitty was up there, Ken Griffin, Plotkin, like all these people who were involved in this craziness, they were being basically debriefed by the government of what's going on. And that was his response. It's like, did you have any contact with the CEO of Robinhood? So Vlad and Ken, let me be perfectly clear, absolutely not. This is a bit interesting. And the other quote that I want everyone to remember is right here. According to the suit, in one instance, Robinhood Chief Operating Officer Gretchen Howard messaged internally that the startup was facing a major liquidity crisis. Publicly, the company's chief executive said the opposite. There was no liquidity problem, CEO Vlad Tenev told CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin a day later on January 29th. So there's two, and like I'm no lawyer, and I'm doing my best to understand how a lawyer would actually look at it. But it's one of those things where, to my understanding, you have things that are like the letter of the law, like the high-end technicalities, and then the spirit of the law of more of like, okay, what as a society do we understand to be morally just or morally unjust? And I think this is one of those things, especially with Griffin's comment, where we're really teetering the line of, okay, it's messed up. All of this stuff we're about to go into, it's messed up, it's immoral, but it's a completely different idea of, okay, how would, I guess, the legal profession, how would the legal world actually like look into all of this? And keep that in mind. So really, the story with Jim Cramer, the meme traders that related to options, they were abusing the rebate system. We're done with that story, no longer relating to this. Now we're talking about two individual things. One was a comment from Ken Griffin saying that he never spoke with Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood. And the other one is both of these are going to involve Vlad, but right here, Vlad, so we had the COO saying there's a liquidity issue, and then Vlad's like, no, we didn't have that. And all of this stuff is documented. If you want, I could post all these sources in the description of this video so you can fact check all these things that I'm diving into. But what I find very surprising about this is, hang on, let me go. This is the lawsuit that I found. United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, case number 212989 MDL. You can check this out. But this is long. It's 137 pages. And let me write down the pages that I found for all of us to dive into. Okay, so the first one is 57. There's a lot in here, but this is what I find. Some of these are kind of the highlights, let's say, at least that I found thus far. So this is some information about Gretchen Howard. Remember, this is kind of, I guess, Vlad's right-hand person, a chief operating officer. That's this Gretchen Howard person. So this was some internal communication. Can you call me? Set up a Zoom link. Major liquidity issued. We have PCO'd right here. PCO'd, just so you know, is position close only. So that's what stopped people from buying AMC, NOK. But a position closed only AMC, GME, NOK, BB, NAKD, COS, EXPR, and BBBY. So right here, major liquidity issue. So we have internal. This one, to me, this is like a straight up like, we got you. This is like bullshit. Right here. I mean, are we surprised that much stuff goes on with Andrew Sorkin, like crazy, like illicit against let's say the greater good of retail trading? Vlad, the CEO, said there's no liquidity problem. To me, I don't. The only way maybe I'm trying to imagine that this could be argued by a lawyer is to say that the COO and the CEO weren't talking with each other. But right here, we kind of have this evidence. Gretchen Howard, high up person in Robinhood, major liquidity issue right here, January 28th, 2021, 5, I don't know, AM, PM, probably AM if I had to guess. Yeah, definitely. So up at 5 in the morning in one of the worst issues this company has ever heard. I find it completely unreasonable to think that the COO and the CEO were not speaking, but we do know that they say completely contradictory things. So I don't know. This is the point where I'm not a lawyer, so I can't like actually comment on any of like the legalese of this. But to say there's no liquidity problem, and then the opposite saying we have a major liquidity problem, that one to me, like I know Ken Griffin, hashtag Ken Griffin lied. I think we could all like right now, like the whole nother one should be Vlad Tenev lied. Like that one is, to me, super, super obvious. And the only thing I could possibly imagine if you had like a fancy schmancy lawyer coming in and be like, well, actually, no, they never talk. So like I guess we need the smoking gun to prove that like, oh, okay. So like we need the communication that shows Gretchen and Vlad spoke and like they were on the exact same page. But like, how would they not have? It's the CEO, and one of the worst parts of this company's history. I just don't buy it. It's honestly that simple. And now let's fast forward really quick. This is some fun stuff. This is just from some people working within the company. We will navigate through the NSCC issue. So the NSCC issue, I believe that they're referring to is like, hey, you need to give a lot of money over to us right now to like cover your collateral. We are too big for them to actually shut us down. We're going to get crucified for PCOing. Remember, that's when they only allowed position closing. Crazy, crazy stuff there. Do we make AMC and GME only PCO? Yeah, seeing the channel now. Unfortunate. Received a very large call confidentially. All firms on street. Jim is saying we are doing the same. So this is a lot of the brokerages like being, hang on, only PCO and on this stuff. And like they know what's going on. They know it sucks. Unfortunate. Like some of these internal communications are like pretty damning, I guess, at least. Maybe not in a legal sense, but in like a public moral sense. Whoa. All right, let me fast forward. Hang on. Check this out. Just an FYI that Dan and I are joining Jim at 5 p.m. on a call with Citadel. They reached out and want to speak this evening, and we believe they will make some demands on limiting payment for order flow across the board. We won't agree to anything, but want to give you a heads up. This is the COO, so they are talking. Like, obviously, hey, Gretchen right here, the COO, right-hand person to Vlad. Vlad says, okay. Then Vlad says, maybe this would be a good time for me to chat with Ken. Vlad says, you guys can mention that. I've never met him. So as of January 27th, remember we're working with a couple dates, mainly January 27th, 28th, and just to tie it back to some of these comments, Vlad had these comments to Sorkin on the 29th. So 27th, 29th, already done. Vlad goes on with CNBC, says there's no liquidity problem. Maybe, like, I'm trying to put on, like, if I were hired by them to be their lawyer, of what they would say. Maybe they'd be like, well, no, actually on the 29th, there wasn't a liquidity problem. We knew there was on the 27th and 28th, but he was asked on the 29th, and on the 29th, there wasn't. So thus he was not lying. And that's what I'm saying. We're getting into the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And I think that's very important. Like for us, I find this to be absurdly frustrating because like something went on, but like, if you take just the comment of like, okay, is this actually breaking the letter of the law? Very, very binary. There's no liquidity problem. Well, that was stated on January 29th. So like, is that what the lawyer could argue and be like, well, no, like we knew there was on the 28th, but look, it happened on the 29th and there wasn't on the 29th. Like that type of a deal. But hang on. The other thing I want to talk about right here, and it's kind of in the same vein of thought, and I think it's very, very important. Upon being asked if he had contact with the CEO of Robinhood, this is in reference to Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel and Citadel Securities, he clearly stated, let me be perfectly clear, absolutely not. Now, this is your opinion. So Vlad was saying he wants to meet with him. Maybe this would be a good time for me to chat with Ken Griffin. You guys can mention that. I've never met him. Now, I went on a little bit more to see if there was what I would personally, in a non-legal advice opinion, consider to be, oh, like clearly they did talk. I didn't find anything. To me, it feels like the exact same argument before the CEO and the COO of Robinhood, Vlad and Gretchen, of talking about, okay, like, is there a smoking gun? Like, I feel like, I don't know what, is it all like secondary evidence or like circumstantial evidence? Like, it's not like we have an email saying, I'm calling Ken Griffin right now, like, we're buddies, like that type of a deal. What I see on page 82 of this, if you want to pull up the court document yourself on 82, it says, maybe this would be a good time for me, as in Vlad, to chat with Ken Griffin. You guys can mention that. I've never met him. So that was as of the 27th. So what I see, at least that, like, I think a lawyer could say and be like, no, he wanted to meet him. He wanted to chat with him. But does it technically from, like, I know once again, we're separating the morals, the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. And I'm talking about it as if I'm like, know how to separate it, but obviously I'm not a lawyer, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about it at all. Let me be perfectly clear. Absolutely not. Now, can a lawyer potentially use that as their defense and be like, oh, no, he wanted to talk to him, but there's no proof of them actually talking? Remember, you're innocent till proven guilty. The onus is on us and the prosecutors to prove that they spoke together. Well, right here, we just see a lot of evidence saying like, it would be crazy if they didn't, but like, can we definitively prove it? You don't know. I saw some people maybe pointing out like, okay, are these legitimate documents? I guess that's a whole nother question. I don't know why I would not believe all of this evidence right here. This seems like a pretty legitimate filing to me, but I guess maybe if there's like a lawyer listening right now, they could be like, oh yeah. Like there's a way, like, I feel like these are verifiable. Like I'm trying to use a source that's like truly, like accurate, like perfectly accurate, in fact. But maybe like I saw someone like, okay, do we know the documents are true? Not as if they're against us anyway. Of like let's just cross all of our T's, dot all of our I's, like make sure that we have this entire thing buttoned up right now. And from what I'm seeing in this is 137 pages of really showing how much of bad actors Citadel and Robinhood is. At least that's how I personally interpret all of this. But with this entire thing of like, did Vlad and Ken meet? Is something in here, the smoking gun? Not that I've read. I've only been through, like, I haven't had much time, and I'm going to dive obviously into this more tonight. So like I said, this is where I'm at in the rabbit hole, and I'm still going. Like, we're still digging. I'm still talking to people. I'm still trying to understand as most of it as I possibly can. I'm just doing my best to bring everyone up to my like current knowledge, and maybe you already know more about this, and you can like be like, hey, you got to look at this, and this. I'm more than happy to. I'm just trying to share this exact story at this moment in time with everyone that is currently paying attention. But some of this stuff in here, it's so egregiously bad of them just knowing that they're going to get, I think they were saying that they're going to get crucified. It's so bad. Like, it's so bad in here. So I recommend, if you have some free time today and maybe you want to put on your lawyer cap, you can check out this case number. Remember this other SEC thing. It's interesting, but also a distinct story. But that's where we're at. And obviously, as I get more and I like can button it up a little bit better for everyone paying attention, more than happy to. I just want to let you know like where I'm at in the rabbit hole currently. Let me go back to some of these. So what, Tesla hit 797.50. AMC not moving much. Very, very low volume, 24 mil today. And we still have, it's 2:30, so we have 90 minutes to go, but low volume. Same with GME. It's only traded 1.2 million shares today. Low volume and volatility on both AMC and GME. The super chat, just bought your first share of MMAT. Congrats, you're welcome. Get aboard, Choo Choo, Amy, Jimmy, and Matthew to the moon. Shout out. Hey, Matt, what do you think about BLNK as the short squeeze candidate? Love your work. Let me check that out very quickly for you. If this ever loads. All right, well, that's loading. Hey, Matt, ATR borrowed shares jump just 250. Decided to increase position 16K shares at 1250 average. Have a SPRT feeling here. Your opinion. Man, okay, I could pull this up. My one page is just not loading for me. ATER, I still like it. I do. I closed my position on it early last week when things were dropping off, just so I had more money to like get in on the dip on things. ATER, I'm bullish on it. It does still meet all of my criteria. I think it was beaten down because people didn't fully understand what they were doing with their debt situation. And people are like, oh, dilution. It's like, well, not kind of, but not really. They were just paying off debt. It wasn't like an at the market offering. And I think some people's reaction, I mean, and I was saying this last week, is like, I think it was an overreaction. And if anything, it just, to me, was more of a discount opportunity. But I think things on ATR get very interesting if it holds above 13. But for you have 16,000 shares with a sub 13 average. Like, that's incredibly good. Incredibly good. So we have a bit of resistance right here, 1325. Like you could see, it was not kind of 4 times roughly in this region today. But I'm watching 1315, 1375. If it can hold, close, nice volume above 1375, ATR, I could see a world in which it becomes extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. All right, what was the one previously? BLNK. Why is this not right? BLNK. All right, I'll have to come back to it. For some reason, it's not loading up here. Super important drop tonight on AMC, Matt. It'd be sick if you could tune in dropping on the channel at 5 p.m. sharp. Love your streams, man. Enjoy your night. Shout out. That's lottery stocks. Levi, Deposer, Vlad, it says you lied to the public here. When I was a young boy in Bulgaria, maybe tinfoil hat. This is why Vlad's phone was seized. Very well could be. So we know that FINRA, I believe, seized his phone. So once again, like, that's what I'm saying is I feel like we're like one little shred of evidence away of connecting the conversation between Vlad and Ken. Right now, CEO of both of these companies, Vlad and Ken, like, everything indicates that like what is the probability of what happened? It really looks like they talked. But once again, we are like, from a legal standpoint, when the onus is on us to prove guilt, we're like, I feel like we're just that close. Like, we need that one call, the one email, the one Zoom. Like, we are right there. ANY halted. Whoa there, ANY. Right back into like its fighting class, its weight class right here. I guess watch 750, 760. This thing could get interesting. Whoa there, brother. Whoa there, Scooter. Are you in CEI? Apologies if you already broken this one down in recent weeks. I am not in it now, but it's moving very nicely with like oil and gas. It's moving. I think the best entry was closer to 170-ish. I think it's a bit chasey right now, but if you're in it, the trend is your friend. Let your winners ride. Thanks for everything you do and share with us. I have many 10-15 call options for AMC. Would it be best to roll them over or turn into shares? I mean, that for you, that's a very, very hard to answer, Alex. I mean, do you want the shares? I don't know anything about your options. Are you deep in the money, out of the money, at the money? And a lot of it is just like almost subjective to like what you want and your risk tolerance. Like, I don't think there's necessarily like, first of all, I don't have like enough info. Like, you just have options and shares. The best to roll over or turn into shares. It's all up to you. Do you want the shares? Do you want the options? What's your risk tolerance? Right now, I have no AMC call options. I have exclusively shares at this moment in time, just because the volume and volatility is low, and that's not an ideal environment for stocks or call options on stocks. But that's my personal preference. Maybe I'm completely misreading the situation. But right now, I do prefer at this moment in time AMC shares over options. Lying to media, not a crime generally, but securities discourse trouble that. By lying to Congress is perjury and a felony. Can comment to their question about communication. Yeah, no, I get that, but we also, that's what I'm saying is, I understand fully, but still, we have no hardcore evidence of them having a conversation. All we have is Vlad saying he's not met him, and he like is willing to speak to him, and like, should they speak? If it is proven, that seems to me to be straight up perjury. But the issue right here for the prosecutors, to my understanding, is still the evidence, like showing evidence that they actually did have communications. What are your thoughts on AMC? You think we squeeze this or next week? Would you mind checking Vortex? I don't know. I think the odds of this week or next week are on the lower side, but it's just we haven't seen volume and volatility, and usually when volume and volatility picks up, for it to really get moving, it runs for a couple of days. So you're trying to put like a very tight time frame on it. So maybe, but that's why I watch it. Like, I'm not here to pick time frames. It could happen, for all I know, it could happen tomorrow, it could happen today, or maybe it takes a bit long. Like, I'm unsure. And anyone that's telling you a time frame, like, they don't know what they're talking about. Did you read page 4, paragraph 6, Vlad? Ken, what do you think we should do? Kenny, I don't know, call that YouTube Duck Boy is really taking us through the ringer. Any chance the government can step in and screw us? Yeah, there's always, like, folks, we're talking about the U.S. government. Of course they could. Of course they could. What is triple witching? So quadruple witching is when 4 types of assets, all asset classes, 2 options, 2 futures, all expire on the same date and they have to get rolled over. So there's 4. Triple witching is when 3 of the 4 are all expiring on the same date. Hey Matt, Twitter is censoring the lied part of the hashtag media censorship at its finest. Let's flood Twitter with the truth. But right now, like, well, okay, I guess it depends on how Twitter itself, like, monitors itself. Like, is it always in the eye of the law, or is it just saying, hey, like, to me, that's a weird thing of Twitter right now that we saw that they're changing this. To me, this is very, very weird because it's the battle of 2 different things. Well, first of all, you have freedom of speech. So if many, many thousands of people, even the tweet number is very, very low now. The tweet number and what it actually is, to me, you're somehow swaying freedom of speech. Like, I think that's a freedom of speech issue. But on the flip side, if they're monitoring themselves by things that are legally accurate and not legally accurate, right now, by the legal definition, they haven't proved that Ken Griffin lied. So now it's, what do you weigh more? Do you weigh the legal definition of, like, okay, is there hardcore evidence? Was he proven guilty of lying versus, okay, the freedom of speech on social media? That's what people are talking about it, and they're purposely skewing it. I don't know. I like, this is the position that Twitter's in right now. You have Wall Street and a billionaire that's well known on Wall Street saying, hey, if you lit this, and I'm guessing right here, I can't say this is actually happening, but this is what I perceive this situation to be. On one hand, you have a pissed off billionaire who will use his Wall Street influence to mess with the company. And on the other hand, you have thousands and thousands of people who are like the retail public saying, no, this is our freedom of speech and this is what we're saying. So both sides are probably freaking out at Twitter right now. And if there were a wrong way to handle it, I would bet that that's how Twitter ends up handling it. In fact, if anytime there's a situation on Twitter, if it could be handled inappropriately, I bet Twitter handles it that way. So whatever you think the most inappropriate way for Twitter to handle this current, like the Ken Griffin situation, I would bet money that the worst way is the way they're going to end up handling it. All right, 740. Could the low Jimmy be due people moving to computer share? No, because like you could still buy there. Like buying, like volume is still trading volume. Like it's low because the overall market's just not trading it right now. ANY, let's go ANY. This is 760. If ANY pushes 760, this thing can get pretty interesting for sure. ANY could be a fun watch. Let's throw up Tesla right there, 795. ANY flying based on seeking alpha rumor. Be careful. Let's see if we could track down ANY. Whatever the news is, FinViz. All right, this is not. That's not coming up properly. ANY. Why did this start moving? Seeking Alpha reports Elon Musk likely join M&A partner Griffin Digital Mining as board member after merger. Whoa. So this is why ANY is on the move. Griffin Digital Mining and Sphere 3D, which is any, will be completing their Bitcoin mining merger in Q4 of 2021. The business of Bitcoin mining is not without controversy, but Griffin Digital Mining and Sphere 3D are taking on a leadership role to address environmental concerns ahead of anticipated merger. We provide a data-driven and evidence-based approach to make the case that Elon Musk will become the newest board member of this Oh, this is a straight up rumor, folks. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Obviously, I don't have 18 years, so I'm not going to read this. Okay. Please be careful with any. So this is what the article is all about. We provide a data-driven and evidence-based approach that makes the case that Elon Musk will become the newest board member of this Bitcoin mining company in Q4 2021. They're just making the case that it will happen. And right here, if you go to the disclosure at the bottom, I/we have a beneficial long position in the shares of any, either through stock ownership, options, or other derivatives. Whoa, 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 whoa. So be careful there. Hey, I know a lot of people are in any. I hope if you're in it, you're making money. But this is not some like big release that's like, oh, that's crazy. Like this could go south if they're like, if Elon comes out and he just tweets like, what the fuck? No. They're literally just making a case that he'll become the newest board member. Not verified or anything like that. So just be careful with any. Shout out to Trey Subway Cup. That's a good catch for the community. And I mean, Seeking Alpha, like they've done this before. Like Seeking Alpha has gotten in trouble for writing articles that like is kind of just BS. So be a little bit careful. It's weird because like the story isn't that like, it's not hardcore evidence, but and he also just has a high short interest. So like, even if it wasn't like backed by evidence, if this puts enough pressure on the shorts, they freak out and they buy, like you still might have that same result of the action. So that's why I'm just saying, be careful. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not saying bullish, bearish. I'm just saying, watch it. Like be attentive, be agile. All right. KLP Blaine, KPLT. I do like it for the gap fill up to 930. What a day. What a day of just actions and reports. And how's my Tesla position doing? All right. I should actually check. What's Tesla at? 797. 797. Someone said, don't be suspicious. That's the most, I hope that's a joke. I can never obviously like fully understand tone when I'm just reading messages, but don't be suspicious. The people who I have seen that have had the greatest success in the stock market are the most suspicious people. Just to like willy-nilly throw out money. That's not. You don't want to just like bandwagon random things. That could go south super, super fast. Okay. So MMAT looking great. Whoa, up 21% on the day, MMAT. About to have a breakout. Watch the September 3rd high of 642. The 630 to 650 area is interesting. Very interesting. After it, I don't see why it wouldn't like just kind of fill up a little bit of this void straight to $8 on MMAT. Jason, dude, be super suspicious. We are. Great win. Shout out, Jason. Happy. I think, what are we ranked now? 4 or 5? We're ranked high. Don't be suspicious is a meme. I pride myself on being super up on meme culture. What am I missing? I feel left out. Oh, Jenny Slate? She's funny. She cracks me up. Is this from Parks and Rec? Is that what this is from? Because I know both of these people are in Parks and Rec. I think it's a Parks and Rec one, and that makes sense. Just I haven't watched all of Parks and Rec, but it is a hilarious show. ANY also has a consensus price target of 40, so I read this morning. Care to verify this chat? All right. Where are we at? I don't want to lose track of the overall market today. We're moving, we're grooving, folks. AMC currently just got knocked from 39.60 to 39.30, but really just it's a low volume day, not high conviction moves. The Q's kind of trying to battle its way back up. How's IWM? IWM almost at its intraday high. This thing is cruising. Can you give a shout out and congrats to my fiance Ashley for getting her realtor's license to help support my terrible trades? Tanner, shout out to both you and Ashley, and congratulations to her on getting her realtor's license. Purdue University. Tesla looking saucy. What else do we have? Don't Pieces of It. It's a joke. It's like a TikTok song. Will you do challenge for your OnlyFans? Shout out Potato. Wouldn't be considered market manipulation seeking alpha? I mean, are they allowed to do that as long as they disclose it? That's the gray area. I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out myself of like what is and isn't manipulation. But they disclosed it. They said, hey, we put this out here. So then it's like, once again, it's kind of like the realm of like, is it freedom of speech? Is it not freedom of speech? I mean, to me, what Seeking Alpha did, it's not much different from when Jim Cramer just tweets buy AMC, or Gasparino's pumping Robinhood on fake news. Like, I don't know. It's that awkward line of like what's manipulation and what's freedom of speech. And I think that's left up to the courts to individually argue. I know you hate Robinhood, but could Robinhood not pay out after the squeeze? I'm hearing that they would probably pay out $100K a month. I have no clue about that. And I mean, Tommy from the Bronx, for me, it's like, I was talking about this a little bit earlier today. It's just it's so easy to avoid that risk that I'm not gonna just do it. Like, you could transfer. You can transfer from Robinhood to another one for free. In my opinion, I think you'd be fine if you started it right now, even if it took like a week. The volatility and all that, the volatility and volume on AMC right now is so low that if you were to like trigger the transfer today, I don't think you're going to miss it. Obviously, there's even risk to that, but I think there's more of a risk to being on Robinhood. Like, I don't see any advantage of being on Robinhood at this moment in time. Like, at all. Like, all it is risk. It's exclusively risk. Just sent you a Twitter DM of a leaked email from the DTCC to Robinhood showing their deficit of $3 billion. I actually think that was included. I think I saw something about that. Man, I was reading so much. I think they actually had that, the email from the NSCC and DTCC in here. Yeah, I mean, the NSCC and the DTCC are scattered quite a bit throughout this. I mean, DTCC comes up, 30 times to explain what's going on here. While Robinhood received approximately a $3 billion margin call email from DT, like 11 in the morning. Yeah, this is part of the lawsuit. On, what's the date? Deficit $3 billion, which is just crazy. The NSCC daily margin statement. Yeah, so this is, it seems like all of the good info right now, it is all can be found in this, I guess, like whatever this court filing is. But yeah, $3 billion. It's crazy. It's crazy. And they were able to raise it within a couple days. They did a huge capital raise. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Where else are we at? Matt, aka Mr. Thunder from Down Under. Do you think people are losing interest in AMC, or is it the calm before the storm? FYI, I love your table dancing. What's going on, Eric? So do I think people are losing interest in AMC? I would say quantitatively, the answer is yes. But I have a little bit of a caveat to that. Hang on. Let me show you why. And this is something I check out. So right here, you could just see the spikes in searching of AMC. So AMC in the US, we could even do it worldwide. It's going to be a similar thing, a similar looking chart. So from June until now, is the search volume going down? And now it's in the weird thing of like, okay, how are you defining like interest? But with it, please keep in mind that as you can see over like a 1 week period, it can shoot all the way back up. So right here, relative to what we've been at, like it is on like its search volume is lower, but we also understand that it within 1 week, it could just go to a whole new relative high. And I think a lot of that is more so tied with AMC. The higher the price goes, the more people that are searching it across the entire world. So just because interest is slightly going down, it's definitely going down. Does that mean it can't ever go up again? Well, of course it could go up again. So we're kind of waiting for some of these technical breakouts, like technical developments, aka price action to the upside. And as soon as that happens, you always see like a mass spike in these searches. That's, I guess, one thing, but it's still like, okay, like how are we going to well define what is interest? But like if you just do something as basic as a search term, well, Google Trends can give that to you. All right, back to this. I mean, I thought about that of like just in general, it's kind of weird. In reference to AMC and GME, like, is there really much more that could be said or done at this point? Like, okay, the amount of hundreds of hours of content I put out there explaining a short squeeze, a gamma squeeze, the overall situation, what Robinhood has done. And like, of course, there's always little updates here and there. Like, for example, we have an update about Robinhood and Citadel and lawsuits. But just in general, there's not much more of the specific situation in AMC and GME that really could be taught. Like, the information is now out there. And it's been out there like and building at a crazy amount over the past 6 months. Like it just, I mean, look at it this way. If every AMC and or GME creator, and I'm talking everything like YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, all of that stuff. If everyone just went silent, what would be happening on a daily basis that like I guess wouldn't be expressed anymore? Like the info's out there, the play is out there, the chessboard is set. We all know the exact game. And right now for me, I guess I've taken on this of like, okay, stock commentary, and then with AMC and GME and the volatility kind of drying up and like us already fully explaining it, it's like, well, if people are still paying attention, well, of course you still need to teach them about other things. But really, AMC and GME, like those specifically, I don't know what the community can now additionally teach on those two. Like, of course, we can teach higher level things of like, okay, what about this in the options market? Like, let's break down some of these like legal developments. But I'm talking exclusively about AMC and GME, the trade, those stocks, what's happening with that. There's literally hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of total content out there that explains it. And like the story's out there. It's like fully out there. And now the name of the game is just getting it in front of more and more people. So to me, it's whether the people out there choose to do like daily updates and break this down and break that down. Does it change anything? Like for many people out there who are involved in this play, it's as simple as buy and hodl. And it doesn't matter with like this update video, that update video. This guy broke this down on Reddit. This person broke this down on Twitter. Does it change anything now? Like, the story's out there. We're on this roller coaster. We're on the rocket. And I think sometimes it's almost interesting of people, and I guess I feel this pressure as a creator of, like, with the AMC and GME, like, it's out there, like, and as soon as, of course, if something new happens, like, that's always, like, I guess fun for me, of, like, when there's a new earnings announcement, I'm like, oh, cool, there's, like, something for us to, like, sink our teeth into and talk about, or the new box office results or anything like that, because it's actually new. But in terms of, like, what this trade is, many of us have already been on the exact same page now for, like, over half a year, and it's not, the info's out there. It's not, we're not really, there's not new stuff essentially being uncovered at this point. We're just seeing if our overall thesis is correct or not. So does any of this matter in the long run, or will they just get fined pennies and continue their illegal practices? Oh, I think it matters a lot. I think it matters a lot. I mean, do you know how many, like, think of all those DTCC, NSCC, all those rules. I don't think they would have happened with us, and definitely not as expediently as they did. And also, like, I mean, Melvin blew up. Like, we had various hedge funds that blew up that were doing things. Like, I think we are, maybe it's not as fast as we want it, but I think that's the importance of, like, getting this story. It's the same story that we've known about. And to me, I think of the game of, okay, we already have the story. The story is well defined. It's getting the story into the most amount of people possible. To me, that's the game right now. It's not like we already understand it fully. It's getting more and more people to understand it. The story is out there. It's just how many eyes can we get? How many ears can we get to listen to this particular story? But as in, like, are we fighting this? Just like, is it a lost cause, or is it effortless, or is the effort worthless? I should say. I would strongly argue no, and, like, my evidence would be the changes that is being made by the SEC, the comments from the SEC, the comments from mainstream media. Like, our voice is clearly being heard. As much as people try to tell you that they're, like, not paying attention and not listening to us, and we're too small and we're not going to make a difference. I mean, I think there's quantitative and qualitative evidence that, like, begs to differ. It's a beautiful day to be in MMAT. Shout out Karthik. MMAT is looking nice. I have no MMAT position, but what a day. Up 18%, almost 19%. All right. Where are we at? It's almost power hour. We're a couple minutes out from power hour. AMC currently trading at 39.44. GME currently trading at 188.62. SPY here. I'm kind of watching that on the SPY. How's Tesla doing? Are we going to hit 800? Tesla has not been at 800 in quite a while. It's going to be fun. I hope it hits it today. Why not? Okay, 800. Like I said, I'm back in Tesla. I'm ready to be heard again. I'm ready. Thoughts on BBIG? BBIG. Let's zoom out a little bit. Right here, So it gapped up and sold off. I'm generally not a fan of that. I think the odds are probably supportive of a gap fill down to, what is this, 662. But from there, it could just bounce and rip, or it doesn't even have to fill the gap now. It could rip and then come fill it. But I just think when you gap up and it goes red, generally from what I've seen, that's a pretty bearish development in the short term to, like, just fill that gap sooner rather than later type of a deal on BBIG. Griffin was asked under oath whether anyone at Citadel had any contact with anyone at Robinhood, not specifically if he had contact with Vlad. So let me see if this is a quote. So this is not a specific quote. Ashley, you might be like spot on right there. I would have to go back and track the like transcript. If you have that, because you're saying Griffin was asked under oath whether anyone at Citadel had any contact with anyone at Robinhood, that's a completely different story. And if you have like I don't know, the transcript or the write-up or something relating to that, I would love if you could send it to me, because that's something that I could use as I'm like trying to put together the story and creating a video for it. Thoughts on SWN? It's looking good. Oh, this is another oil and gas one. Oh, so a lot of oil's running right now. So this is just pushing. You're definitely chasing. You would have to risk like 460, or at least that's what I would risk. And it's already trading at 590. All right. Where are we at? I cannot believe that this trending thing is ridiculous. That they were... Wow. I cannot believe that they were doing this. They removed the hashtag. Nuts. I can't believe they... and then like even the number, they also like really dampened down. That is clearly... like that was so dumb. Like I don't think that Twitter themselves would have been like, okay, like let's just take this down. Like I feel like Griffin had to get on the phone and freak out. Nuts. Does the MRN look like it's gonna run again? I still have a call option. Wondering your thoughts. I thought MRIN was moving today. I mean, it's up 5%. That's a great move in a day. 5%. If you're asking for the intraday basis, I think this is strong. I mean, it's kind of at an interesting level right now, roughly 1075. But if it keeps pushing, like it looks like it's gearing up. Looks like it's gearing up to me. Tesla's on the way. About $2 off from this level it has not been at in forever. I mean, we're talking February of this year is the last time that Tesla was trading at these levels. Tesla looks hungry. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Trace Chester and Chief Pew Pew. These names.
All of you guys were figuring out how to do this, and all thinks that there was collusion, that the big guys, all of you guys were figuring out how to do this and ultimately come out ahead, as you always do. But did you talk to them about restricting or doing anything to prevent people from buying, not selling, but buying in GameStop?
Let me be...
Anybody in your organization?
Let me be perfectly clear. Absolutely not.
So if we depose everyone in your organization, we'll find that.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
That is that's bad. That is not good looking. Because like I was gonna say, at first he said, "Did you?" and then did you say your organization? And Ken already started to answer. But the fact that he clarified right at the end,
not. Let me be...
Anybody in your organization?
So that was like they kind of interrupted each other, and I was like, that gets a little bit iffy of like, who is he answering? But right here.
So if we depose everyone in your organization, we'll find that.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that is not. That's bad. That is so bad. Shout out to Antonio Martinez. That's worth a follow. That's some good DD. That's some good research right there. I think this is his, or I don't know where he got it. I think he made this video, but that's worth it. That is ridiculous. Like I said, kind of the interesting part right there was like, oh, like if it were just the first part of like when they were kind of interrupting each other, I'd be like, does that count? Does that not count? And like, then you just have to be a lawyer and know what does and doesn't count. But when he clarified when that government official clarified. He's like, so if I deposed everyone in your organization, they would say the same thing. Well, what's it? I think is it this page? Nope. I think it's on 82. Just an FYI, Dan and I are joining Jim at 5 p.m. on a call with Citadel. Like right here on January 27th, this is the problem. It's this first line. Just a FYI that Dan and I are joining Jim at 5 p.m. on a call with Citadel. Right there. That's... So I guess with that video and the clarification from the government official, this actually... Holy shit. This actually makes it... This trend of what I guess Twitter's doing. So, like, to me, before of like how I was explaining it, I was like, well, okay, like you have to have the smoking gun that he did lie, but it looks like the smoking gun is there. Like Ken Griffin is his own smoking gun, his own comments. We're right here. Whoa, I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough about perjury, but it seems like if you want to track this down, right here, you can see the case number on page 82. Just an FYI that Dana and I are joining Jim at 5 p.m. on a call with Citadel. That's those are just like I was trying to think about it to the best of my ability of the way like a lawyer would be like, okay, well you have to like consider this like this edge case and this technicality, but to me, I don't see the wiggle room right here between this statement on page 82 of this is the COO, the chief operating officer. Gretchen is the right-hand person to Vlad. When you put that together with those statements that it looks like, oh shoot, it was right here. Antonio Martinez, who I just followed. It seems like these are wildly contradictory. Republican Juan Vargas. That's insane. That's ridiculous. Shout out to Antonio. That is some good stuff right there. Whoa. So now I feel like that almost, if I were a lawyer that had too much time on my hands and I like wanted to go after someone, this seems like big tech censorship. It really, really does. At this point, 20 minutes ago, I was a little on the edge. I was like, okay, like maybe they're worrying about their own butt and they don't want to get sued by like Citadel and like they don't want Citadel to run their stock into the ground. I was like, okay, hang on. Like we need to really tie this up and bring it home, like wrap it up in a nice bow. Wow. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's so insane. That's exactly the video I was talking about. Shout out Ashley. Antonio's a beast. Yeah, he is. That's great. That's great stuff. Matt TD called me today to say have enough hood to cover my short position. Made me close just to add suspicious. Put looks pricey though. No. I mean, I haven't checked on hood in a hot minute. They called me today to say you don't have enough hood to cover my short position. Well, you probably don't have enough money in your account or something. They're not going to just like arbitrarily get you out. It had to be like a margin related issue. But actually, I kind of like a put against hood at these levels. I mean, with it, you would have to be willing to risk 47.84, which is about $4, a little bit over $4. So is that risk worth it to you? I mean, it's 1-to-1 if you ride it down to 40. A little bit better than 1-to-1, but also obviously if it breaks, like you could ride it even lower, like 33, or maybe it hits a new all-time low. But are you fine with accepting 47.84 as your risk? That's how I would personally look at it, and many people watching would say yes or no. Versus like some people that's an acceptable risk, other people it's not. Matt, I just joined. What did I miss? Pirates. Quite a bit, honestly. We really kind of going into this rabbit hole of what is and isn't going on. Citadel owns 5 million shares of Twitter as well. By the way, I'm sure it's easy to call up Jack and request the change. Is that what they were reporting in their most recent? Let's see. Twitter. Owners, institutional owners. Institutional owners. The effective date. Do we have an... Why is this just not loading? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. All right, I think I'm back. I don't know what happened. Citadel's watching. Am I like... Is this still... Hello? Am I frozen? What is going on here? Fintel? Alright, where are we at? Citadel. 5 mil shares and some unknown amount of calls and puts. Let's see what Citadel has been doing with Twitter. No, you're not freezing. Good thing I didn't totally freak out there. It's just, I guess, Fintel's website that's like essentially crashing my Chrome here. Come on, I want to see 5 million shares. Yeah, this is not... Whatever's going... Fintel is just like not working for me right now. All right, I just kind of want to get some of these answers about Twitter. Am I ever going to get the answers we need? You can't handle the truth. All right. So in in the past 2 fiscal quarters, Citadel's position on Twitter has gone from 3 million to 5 million shares. Crazy. All right, Fintel, we all just know that now. Fintel, Twitter, 3 million to 5 million. So they're up in their position. It's not like they are... Come on, Fintel. Let's drop this page. We don't need this anymore. Fintel's ruining my life. Just remember that. 3 million to 5 million shares. So an extra 2 million at how much? Like 60 a pop? 60? That's quite a bit of money there. Why are you doing this? I'm gonna cry. Let's just sing a little bit. This is like actually crashing everything. Please stop. All right, I'm just gonna exit out some of this. Let's see where we're at. Cool, back in business. They'll never keep us down. Have you tried turning it on and off again? I was about to. Oh, SPY on the move. What else do we have? Hello, Clarice. Shout out Tommy's Touch. They didn't have enough shares to lend out. To lend out, as in you were going short? Trubin? I forget what stock. They didn't have enough hood to cover my short position. Yeah, I mean, that's how it should work, Trubin. If they don't have enough shares, they shouldn't allow people to go short. That's telling me that TD's like operating the way they should. Like to go short, you need to have shares to actually like go short. I wonder, now that I'm curious. Oh, if you want Unusual Whales, who's been like super up to date on this story or like the flow or anything here, it is pinned to the top of chat. They're awesome. The team at Unusual Whales is great. I want to see what's going on with Hood. Are people betting against it today? Slightly, 52 to 48 on Hood. Tesla, just for anyone who's curious, because it is ripping. It's pretty much 50-50, 49.8 versus 50.2, kind of like that. It's too close. It's the flip of a coin. SPY, a little bit bullish, 51.6 to 48.4. Let's check AMC really quick. Actually, bears dominating the day in the options market, 55 versus 45. GME, Opposite in GME, the bulls dominating the day for GME, 53.2 versus 46.8. Just so we all have a little bit of the numbers and the know-how of what is and isn't going on. How cool would it be if the SEC like runs with this so far that even Twitter gets pulled into it? They're like, did you stop this trend? Like, I can just imagine all these like fancy schmancy lawyers arguing about trends. They're not going to switch it back. I'm checking it as if Twitter's about to do the right thing, and they're not. They're 100% not. I'm at work. Care to recap what happened, please? There's pretty interesting evidence of how corrupt and messed up Citadel is, specifically in this case, because I guess Citadel is the one who lied. But then we also, we have, it depends how you want to look at the liquidity one, but I would say that Robinhood's pretty messed up too. But Robinhood, they might, from legalese and the world of legal stuff, they might get away with it because he said this on the 29th and maybe there was no liquidity problem. Now I feel like you're just debating intent and like there was no liquidity problem. That sounds past tense, as in there was no one ever. But like it depends on how you really want to define it. And I think we all know how we're thinking about it. But I think this is kind of dependent on how fancy the lawyer's going to be. There was no liquidity problem. And then the lawyer's like, yeah, he was referring to the 29th. There was no liquidity problem on that day that he stated it to Sorkin. Is the judge going to believe that? I mean, I know I don't. But I'm also not a lawyer, so I don't know what does and doesn't fly. If all your shares suddenly go to Hood, we won't believe the suicide note. Could AMC realistically squeeze at this low volume? I'm on the phone with Fidelity. No. You usually don't have a squeeze unless like they go together. Crazy price actions happens simultaneously with high volume in most circumstances. It's not like one leads the other. Like the reason you get these giant price movements is because so many people are trading it, and that's why like you just have so much ground to cover, is what you're going to see most of the time. Okay, Matt, aka Mr. I table dance for cheap rates. If the education process in regards to AMC cannot be done any further, then what are you waiting for next? More, meaning more volume, new buyers, or what? I mean, they kind of go together. Like I'm looking for this natural ebb and flow cycle of expansion, consolidation. I'm waiting for the current consolidation to end and to see which way the new expansion breaks. But for me, this is what I feel like, Eric, what I'm doing is I'm still actively trading. I mean, I made a Tesla position. I'm up on Tesla right now. I've been trading my futures account. So throughout the day, we're talking about things like any, we're talking about things like BBIG, SPRT, GREE, BGFE, all these things. So like AMC and GME are very, I guess, important parts of like the updates. But today for the afternoon session, I spent most of my time reading into this. So I don't know if that does or doesn't make sense, Eric, but with AMC and GME, when people come in, like newer apes, I'm more than happy to explain to them because I still get those questions. Oh, what's the short squeeze? What's a gamma squeeze? Like, so I'm here. I view my job as the guy who's like welcoming to all the new apes and kind of explaining the scenario. But for the apes who've already been battle tested and here for a while, I don't know if there's much more development in the story, but like I say that, and then even like today, well, we do get developments in the story of things that needs to be like, I guess, dove into and like broken apart just so we can better understand what's happening. But I would say a high majority of the story is like properly expressed already. So right now, I think the name of the game is getting more and more people to understand and listen to the story that's already been laid out by so many people. Who says this? AMC is already in the thousands. That's not the number. I don't know. Like, I hope you mean that facetiously, because that's wrong. AMC is trading at 39.41, and it's not trading at anything anywhere else right now. This concept that there's like a secret book and a secret market where it trades at a secret price, that's so wrong. Like, I don't know. It's been debunked and discussed at nauseum. So for all the new apes out there, you might hear this rhetoric of like, oh, it's trading at a different price somewhere else. That's factually inaccurate, and it's easily disproven. Matt, can you make a video on trading futures or a live stream? Yeah, so I actually already have some on like the Matt Kohrs channel. Those were like some of my earliest ones. But I'm getting a lot more requests for those to, I guess, like come back, and people are like, oh, hey, I want it. Like right now in my futures account, let me check it out. Actually, as I say, I'm down $300 on SPY right now. I think it went long at not the best time, probably back here right when it was close to its intraday high. So I'd love a breakout if it happens. But yeah, we can do that more. The one thing with this, the futures platform that I've been on, and like I just use this for futures, is called TradeStation. And the thing with TradeStation is it seems to really like showing off your account number, which is not the best scenario for me. So I need to figure out, like, I need to reach out to their team to see if there's like an option, like a security preference where I can like hide my info. Because I would love to stream it and show it. And we could, when people are asking me about like CEI, it's good to see what's going on in the oil market, because that's how those companies are being driven, is by like oil. AMC is trading at 100 trillion billion in dark pools right now. Go look. Shout out, Nick. So is what Robinhood and Citadel did considered collusion and insider trading? It seems like Citadel was blowing up and the brokers going PCO saved them. Not insider trading. Insiders, like when you're insider to the company and you're trading on non-public information. Collusion, maybe. I mean, that's once again where like that's where you live. That's why you have all the high paid lawyers and you let them battle it out of like what it is or isn't. In the way that we would speak of just like kind of general talk, it seems like collusion, like the way I would define collusion. But once again, there's a big difference between legal definitions and legal arguments and legal precedents, and also how the, I guess, general population views scenarios. You can try Alpaca, also has algo trading platform. I haven't heard of Alpaca. The main two I hear about, or that I've known about that people use, are Interactive Brokers and TradeStation. TradeStation has its own native language called Easy Language, and it's god awful to learn. I mean, I'm a coder, I'm a computer science major, and I hate that language. I'm getting okay at it just because like I've been messing around with it. But that's what I started with, just because I like how it had its own built-in platform. Interactive Brokers has an exposed API, so you could just hook up like a basic like Python script to it. Actually, I think another one that a lot of people use is called Ninja Trader. I've never personally used that. I don't know too much about it. I just know I read it a lot. Hey, Matt, just started my transfer from Robinhood to public. Do you know netting about the rules adopted from liquidation delays and how that will affect AMC? Do you know anything about the new rules adopted for liquidation delays? No, I need to, like, you're saying that there's new rules, JC. I would need to look that up. I don't want to give any, like, I guess, false opinions or uninformed opinions on that one. I didn't know there was new liquidation rules. Okay, Matt, aka stage name Mr. Moas. I'm aware there's no yellow brick road that leads us direct to the Moas, but what should we be looking for next to get there? Days to cover, low volume. Yes. What I would look for, like, that's a good question of like, okay, Matt, what is a sign that something could put, like, there's a higher chance of something lurking like right around the corner? What I would say, and like whether you're watching me or not, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're doing something better with your life than like listening to me drone on, which is completely fair. I get that. Even if you're not listening to me, what I would say, hey, like this is what I'm looking for, like pretty important stuff. Look for big technical breakouts such as $50, $53. on abnormally high volume. So I'm not, well, obviously the higher we go, like it gets crazier, but I'm talking about like key levels right now that AMC is having a tough time getting above, like, and that's why I'm bringing up 53, because that's where we were most recently rejected. Look for a breakout above that, a close above that on abnormally high volume, and that tells me that something might be cooking in the background. Paul, shout out Paul. Please discuss your thinking on low volume of AMC. Seems odd to me. It's just people aren't trading it. High volume and low volume isn't like indicative of something like nefarious going on in the background. It just simply means people aren't trading it. And that's everyone. That's high frequency traders, that's retail, and that's institutions as well. Low volume just means low engagement. You should never associate the magnitude of volume, high or low, with being bullish or bearish. Those are distinct things. There are strong correlations between high volume and high volatility, but even that's not like a one-to-one correlation. They don't have to like occur. You could have high volume and no volatility, or you could have high volatility and low volume. That latter case is far, far more rare. But I think it's inaccurate to associate high or low volume with being bullish or bearish, because volume is just volume. Every buyer has a seller. Every seller has a buyer. You're not buying from the ether. You're not selling into the ether. Anything you do, there's another player on the other side. That could be another retail. That could be a hedge fund. That could be a bank, a pension fund. That could be a high frequency trader. Whatever you do, there's another entity taking the other side of that trade. Vlad is blocking people on Twitter. Am I blocked by Vlad? Oop, not yet. Pinned April 1st. Robinhood is a safety first company. Wow. There's nothing better that describes nothing better describes, I guess, my view of what goes on at Robinhood and Citadel right now, besides that meme of the dog sitting there, I'm fine and everything's on fire. Like it has to be. I hope those people at their PR reps get paid a lot. I really, really do. Like they have to get paid a lot. What's the perjury charge? Illinois penalty. In Illinois, perjury is a class 3 felony. It's punishable up to 5 years in prison and a fine up to 25 grand. So someone like Ken Griffin does not care about 25 grand. In fact, I think the last time we looked it up, he makes about $80,000 to $90,000 per hour. Or is that per minute? He makes a lot of money, to the point that $25,000 is like literally nothing to him. He might, I don't know, he could just drop 25,000 behind a dumpster and like just forget about it. Like it wouldn't matter. But 5 years in prison, you know, no matter how rich you are, 5 years is 5 years. A class 3 felony is punishable. Wow. Coercing or convincing another individual to commit perjury is class 4. Wow. Well, folks, I don't know. I feel like AMC should just let this play out on the big screen, sell the popcorn. Also, why does anyone think it's messed up that I feel like our financial punishments should be scalable based on like how much money you have? Because to someone like the average person in the world, $25,000 would mess you up if you got caught for perjury. But if you're a rich person, it's nothing. I don't know. I don't know why they never thought about that with laws, but I think your punishment should be like a percentage or a ratio of your income or your current net worth or something like that. Because if we're trying to, I guess, course correct by a financial fine, to some people that payment is literally it's comical. They're like, oh, 25,000, like, cool, see you later. That was a waste of time. And to other people, that 25 grand could like ruin their life and they're never going to get out from under that debt. But that's a different one. I don't want to go off on that tangent. All right, so SPY, triple rejection. What do we have? We have about 30 minutes left. We're actually perfectly halfway through power hour. SPY trading at 443. The intraday high is 444. So we have about, 80 cents to go to see if we hit that. Not sure if we will. All right, GME, still in that 188 to 190 region. We've identified that. That's where GameStop's hanging out. It's bending back around, showing a little bit of strength. We'll love to. It would be awesome if it closes above 190. AMC is currently at 39.33. Tesla not tapping 800, unfortunately. It is at 796. Hey, Matt, can you look at EDU for a gap fill? EDU. 31 million shares. Like, of course, like, there is that gap, but I just see no buyers. Like, obviously, you need buyers to kind of, like, get other people excited. Like, it gapped down for some crazy reason at the end of July. I would look into why, see if it is an overreaction, an underreaction, an appropriate reaction. Look into whatever happened in late July to EDU. But the fact is like, it came down, and since there, it's gone absolutely nowhere. So I would want to dive into like what actually happened. Thoughts on USAS? Looks super, super weak. Incredibly weak. It looks like it's heading down to whatever this is from this 2016, 47 cents. I just don't see any buyers. I just see a perfect downtrend. Down, 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 down. All right, what else we have? Sava. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier. Had a gap fill today. That's nice. I mean, it might mess around in here, but I think Sava, I think it's going to take time, but I would be kind of interested in the gap fill up to 115. Once again, I think it takes time. Honestly, I think it'll push, kind of get hit, come down a bit. Just, I'm assuming the technicals are going to get a bit hot, but it gap filled today. We have another gap. I think it's going to take time. Once again, I'm reiterating it because I think it's important. But Sava, I think, has opportunity. What else did you ask about? PLTR. I like Palantir. I think it also needs to take a breather, but I think Palantir is a great long-term investment. At least that's how I look at it. I know about this one. It's more in my field of technology. I think from a technology standpoint, they're years ahead of their competition. I like what they do. The field they're in, data analytics, it's just a growing field anyway. So it's the leader. It's by definition, the leader, a good leader with a good distance in between it and second place in a growing field. Now, you do have to be a bit careful. There's a gap fill to the downside. So I'm not saying in the short term, medium term, there might be rough waters, but Palantir it's one of these stocks. Like, I think of Palantir, Apple, Microsoft, even kind of Disney to a certain point of just, I buy it and I sit there and I'll just come back way later and see how it goes. Luke saying, mark my words, AMC closes today at $39.95. Bullish divergence building up since 3:45 p.m. I think you mean 2:45, but yes. Do you like BBIG's chart? I think I was looking for a gap fill to the bottom side. No, when it gaps up and it doesn't hold, that tells me it's just going to fill the gap that it created pretty rapidly. A gap up red days, I'm not the biggest fan of those. I'd be watching how it reacts to 650, specifically 662. which is the high from Friday, the 24th. All right, what do we have? Tesla. We didn't see that magic 800. Too many day traders front running it $1 beforehand. They're like, we'll take $7.99, and that's why it hit exactly $799. It's itching. It's cruising for an 800 bruising. Time zones exist. They do exist, but to be in the 3:45 time zone, isn't that like somewhere just in the ocean, in the Atlantic? Like, I think you have to go even more east than like the Bahamas to get there. I think. I don't know. If you believe in that time type of stuff. ATER at 1250, BBIG at 7, GREE at 25. Is this a new all-time low for GREE? No. The low is 2361. GREE not looking the best. What else do we have? How's Nvidia doing? Let's check that out. Nvidia, kind of a hammer day, actually. Showing some strength, maybe going for that gap fill to 218.30. A gap fill on a hammer plate? I kind of like it. AMD, flexing. AMD's been hitting the gym lately, showing off its biceps. What else? Microsoft, how's that one doing? Microsoft, gap down, sell off. Not the best in the short term, but I still think it's a long-term juggernaut. AAPL, 145. This low 140 purchase, like 141, 142. What a great obvious buy. Support, sells off. People just didn't like the iPhone 13 that much. Market, a little bit shaky. Sold off, opportunity. People were talking about NIO. I'm just a little bit hesitant about these EV stocks because it does seem like the political market tensions between the U.S. and China are getting a little bit tense. But hey, NIO almost about to do its gap fill from the low on September 17th. How's Any doing now after the seeking out alpha push? This is exactly why Trey Subway Cup was telling everyone to be careful. Exactly why. Because people realized that it was just an opinion that he should be on the board and they think he might get the board seat, but it wasn't corroborated information. It wasn't like Elon Musk said, yeah, I'm totally on Any's board. I know NAKD isn't your favorite, but it's up 16%, and the volume of the last 2 days is literally 10x the average daily volume. Something is up. So with that, though, the more it behaves like that, the closer I think it is to being like done on the current move, because you're going to run into what's referred to as volume exhaustion. You can't like continue your volume higher and higher. It's just there is a finite amount of money involved in these situations. Oh, wait, hang on. Michael, check CNBC. Michael Burry. Someone just said that Michael Burry. So I saw this was 6 hours ago. Okay, yeah. So I was checking this out actually early this morning. Michael Burry says he was subpoenaed by the SEC as GameStop saga drags on. So I saw this. This was actually kind of news earlier on, but like he took the tweet down like very, very quickly, and then people were finding it on like Wayback Machine. Famed investor Michael Burry revealed on Twitter that he received a subpoena from the SEC in connection with his investigation into GameStop. So who got a SEC subpoena over GME? Actually, I know who. They're on my subpoena with all that's going on in the world, he said in a now deleted tweet on Friday. So yeah, this did play out last week. Michael Burry, the big short guy, aka Christian Bale, bet against the economy and the housing market when the housing market looked like it was going to collapse. So he's, I don't know, known, his fame level, and an immense amount of wealth was created when he called the housing bubble crash. All right, what do we have here? Anything on Tiblio to check out for the day, or at least right now? Eric, CLNE, Hyliion. Oh, Hyliion. I would love for Hyliion to start moving. What about Bear Squeeze plays? BNS, BMO, MIC, NOC might all be worthwhile to just kind of check out, see what's going on there. Crypto really not moving much right now, cooling off a little bit. Hey bro, have you heard of Boss Token? Could you check it out? Actually, the only time I've heard of Boss Token is when people are sending in like super chats who are like clearly involved with the project, trying to say, hey, check out Boss Token. When I get a bunch of super chats telling me to check out some random little crypto, like my bullshit like detector kind of starts going off, so I'd rather just not. What's going on with CEI? I'm making mad money. CEI, mad money with Jim Cramer. Oil is running like a madman. With it, just please understand that this stock, specifically Camber Energy, has this well-known pattern of ripping and dumping. There is nothing in here that tells me the rip to a high level will be sustained. So with this, I would just say, hey, use a trailing stop, or like ride the trend, make a stupid amount of money. I want you all to make a stupid amount of money, but don't be greedy. Don't go around thinking you can diamond hand every stock the way you are AMC and GME. It's not a good methodology for like the entire stock market. CEI, ride it out until the trend changes, and when the trend changes, do your best to identify a trend change and take your money and then move on to the next play. CEI is not one I would like want to just load up and be like, I'm going to hold this forever no matter what happens. CEI, in my opinion, it's a medium term trade. It's a good trade. People are up a lot. It's not that long ago. It was at 40 cents. It's currently trading at 275. I missed it. I think the last opportunity to get in was right here around 165. And right now, I'm not going to chase it, but if you're in it, crush it. Ride the trend. That is awesome. And as soon as it shows some weakness and looks like it's about to like kind of like a ball, like you throw a ball up and it arcs, you're going to start to see the bars are a bit smaller. They're going to be a little bit red. The volume's going to die off a bit. And that's just kind of indicative of the fact that like the fun might be over. And then you could sell it, and when it comes, and if you think it's going to rip again, you could always re-enter the full position, a part of your position, more of your position. But don't think that everything is going to be some insane multi-1,000% squeeze. That's not a good idea. Shout out to Design Theory. All right. Yeah, both people asking about CEI. No, it was a good trade. Like if you're in it, like you deserve, pat yourself on the back. Great trade. If you're like the trend is still strong. I mean, you're at the point when really it's just like, okay, well, let's see what's this, like the low threes, 310. You might as well just watch that and see what happens. After that, maybe a bit higher over here. Like 310 and then $4, something like that. Like it could keep moving. I'm not saying it's done. I'm just saying the risk reward isn't worth it for me. Who's ready for Venom 2? Yes, Venom 2 comes out October 1st, I believe. At least in my area, that's when it comes out. And I'm excited. I want to see that movie. I really like the first Venom. It kind of got a bad rap, like the reviews and stuff. I don't know. I was very entertained and happy with the first Venom. The Tom Hardy, like the first full Venom movie, not the first rendition of Venom in Spider-Man. In my humble opinion. What else do we have going on? What kind of questions? All right, we did that. Michael Burry says he got an SEC subpoena on GameStop. Yeah, that was from Friday, like the deleted tweet. Yeah, the conversation 8084 on that document, it's crazy. It could fall under federal perjury. Who lied to a congressional committee? Chief Pew Pew. That's a very good point. Wow. Wait, Cootery, could you send me that? I want to tweet that out. This is perfect. Hey, Kenny. Vlad. Oh, and Ken. You guys are hilarious. I like these. All right, where are we at? How is Tesla? I just want to see 800. Come on. We have 15 minutes. Give us something to be happy about on Tesla. Have you ever looked up how much money Ken Griffin gives to both parties and candidates from both parties? It's mind-boggling. He's untouchable. I would assume he's very insulated. I mean, he's donated a lot of money. In fact, though, one guy, Tim Scott from South Carolina, who was defending payment for order flow, he was like, if you look into it, and Unusual Whales pointed this out, the super PAC that like helped get him elected, one of the biggest contributors to that super PAC or PAC, I don't know what the difference is. One's super, one's just a normal PAC. Ken Griffin's a huge donator to it. All right, Tesla $795. Let's see if AMC wants to push this 3960 level. SPY kind of quiet right now. What do you think about LAUR? Kind of, is it? I guess I don't have any idea what they do. I'm surprised the chart doesn't look like it's another education company. I'm surprised it doesn't look similar to the EDU chart, which actually means EDU is even kind of worse. Looks like you're looking for this gap fill up to 1842 at this point. So I would be watching for that. But this shows you how long some gaps take to fill. This happened in March of 2020, and we're now in September of 2021. And even to today, the gap is still not filled. So this is kind of I think a good teaching point to express that not all gaps are filled like as quickly as you would want them to be. LAUR has a $7 special dividend next week. Or did you say next week or next month? Next month. Interesting. Ask Michael Cohen if you can go to prison for lying to Congress. Let's go Cowboys. Start the week off right. Jamie, unfortunately, you're going to be wrong on that. I think the Eagles are winning tonight. Perfect scenario for me, because I know you all are super, super indebted to my my football team performance, my fantasy football team performance. I'm in the unique position where I need both Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, and the running back of the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott. I need them both to do well. So perfect scenario is that the Eagles win. Jalen Hurts has a lights out game, but I also want Ezekiel Elliott to perform at a high level. So that's perfect scenario for me. ATR is still a good play. ATER. I mean, right now it's just an indecisive day. It was kind of just a premium burn day. Not really much happened. I don't think the case for ATR is done. I think it's still a reasonable trade with a solid thesis behind it. We're just looking for the price action to bring it above $14 essentially. All right, where am I at? Over here. Nice. All right, sweet. Hey, Matt, totally off topic. What was CI doing in 2011? Confused on the price. Oh, it's probably a stock split at this point. Like, it wasn't like it actually sold off or did something way better. It's probably just because of splits that are like now accounting for it. So remember, when you do a stock split, way more stock, same market cap, but the price is dropping. So I would assume it's just something like that. Joey Face, Space Ape, 3 months. Shout out, Joey. I appreciate you. Only got a notification from an hour ago. I don't know what's going on with these like notifications and whatnot. I've just been fighting with YouTube quite a bit recently. It's frustrating. But hey, all I can do is hang out with you folks. And you know I'm in here day in and day out. So I guess even with, do you have a Manscaped discount code? Oh, Justin, yeah. I think you just have to go to manscaped.com/moongang. Like you have to go to the URL/moongang. What are your thoughts on unrealized gains tax? Unrealized gains? I think it's stupid. So dumb. Like, why? How could you tax them on money that they just don't even have? Because, like, what if the trade goes the other way and they pay? No. 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 Not a fan. Not a fan. I don't even, how would that even work though? Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Yeah, this Ryan, I'd like my unrealized loss deductions too. That's a good point. That is a very, very good point. All right, we already have that. I wonder why Fintel was having so many issues today. I mean, my other web pages are working A-okay. A-okay. Tesla, IWM, we see some things dipping at the end of the day as we're in the final 10 minutes of the trading session. We see a little bit of a dip in Tesla. We see a little bit of a dip in IWM. What about SPY? A little bit of a dip there. Just closing off into a tiny bit of weakness, but it's really nothing that crazy. In fact, IWM is still up. It's up by 1.5%, while the Qs are down by 0.8%. SPY is down by 0.3%. Interesting. AMC is trading at 39.45. GME is trading at 189.64. So what, 36 cents away from kind of that 188 to 190 region we've been checking out lately. Where are we at? Is it going to catch itself right here? What's it going to do into close? 226.34. 226.34. All right. Matt, will you take a look at SBLK? Yes. SBLK. Star Bulk Carriers Corp. What is this? A marine shipping. Already hate it. I hate it. Marine shipping, it's a super tough industry. The one that a lot of people talk about is CTRM or tops or dries. Marine shipping, obviously I'm probably being biased. I just the industry itself is so tough. Like all these like crazy illicit things happen. It's a tough industry to trade. With it, honestly though, with me saying all of that, this is probably one of the best marine shipping charts I've seen. Like some of these other ones, like something like CTRM, top strides, they suck. So relative to all those other ones, this one does look exponentially better. So maybe I'm being a little bit, I guess, like aggressive towards it just because I don't like the entire industry. But I do admit on a relative basis, it's performing better. So with me knowing a little bit about the industry and noticing that Star Bulk is like very different, I would want to dive into why is it so different. That would be like, it's like, why is this chart looking pretty solid when the rest of them are like just basically a bunch of pump and dumps? So I would want to dive into what sets SBLK apart. Please, hey, Matt Mark Mum. Matt Mark Mum. Matt, Mark, Mom. All right, we have about, what is this? About 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, little over, just so in case, like if you're battling, I don't know, like PDT or something like that, and you're trying to get in a trade right before the market closes, that's your 5-minute warning. How's Tesla going to close out the day? 91, dropped about $6. Is it just because the SPY? It seems like the indices. Let's just close the market. I think we could close it about 5 minutes early today. I think we could close. Was there some sort of market on close imbalance? Hang on, I want info. 2.2 billion on the sell side. Interesting. The futures. So some people are attempting to get out, or attempting to pull the old ripcord. Pull the old ripcord. What else do we have? Mama said to the moon, yes, Ken Griffin lied, and Vlad Tennant lied, and Twitter lied. Crazy, 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 crazy. Wild stuff happening, folks. Wild, wild day. Usually it's a beautiful day to be an ape, and of course it's a beautiful day to be an ape, but today it's additionally a wild day to be an ape. Can you check MELI? Yeah, sure. Down 5%. What is this? Oh, MELI. This is actually like I think Warren Buffett has a considerable position, or someone does. This is a highly respected and touted company. You do have close support at 1,745, but I would care more about 1,588 on this gap fill. That's what I would watch in it. But I would be, knowing the names who are invested in this company, I'd naturally be bullish on it. Definitely a pretty respected company. Huge, huge company. I mean, it's, oh wait, 87 billion. I thought this was like a lot bigger, but I see quite a few people talking about this one. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Looks like IWM trying to bounce off this line. So things still holding up. I mean, Tesla gained a nice 2.2%. Cardano 220, Bitcoin 43,000, Ethereum 3,000, Doge 20 cents, Matic $1.10, Hex 44. Solana 144. BBIG just below 7. ATR 1230. GME 189. AMC 3927. Interesting day to close out. All right, what else do we have? I wish Matt Stratz could have been here to give us a market update. He is so serious. Yeah, he's on vacay right now. He's getting some R&R. Turnaround Tuesday about to be lit. I mean, with Turnaround Tuesday, that's more of like related to the S&P 500 when it drops more than 1%. It's down 0.3. But I mean, last Turnaround Tuesday did not work out. It did in the futures market, not necessarily the normal stock market. They do run on different hours. Futures market trades for 23 hours out of the day instead of the 9:30 to 4 type of a thing. But hey, it's a red day. Whenever you have a red Monday, there's a better chance of a green Tuesday, but the odds increase the farther the drop on Monday. What else? What else do we have going on? Questions right before close. Don't know if pointing out before Ken said absolutely not to that question. He was asked if he or Citadel had contact with Hood, and he said he was a representative that speaks with them regularly since they do business together. The absolutely not answer was specifically in respect to talking about stopping and buying. When I saw the second part though, Juan definitely said, has any of your representatives like spoke? So unless like, I don't know, maybe it's worthwhile to like watch a bit more of the clip to understand, but like I thought the context was pretty clear. Clover. But yeah, I'll zoom out and in that time frame and watch more of that clip. All right, Jimmy 189.70, AMC 39.30, and we have 5 seconds to go. Ding, ding, ding. The casino is closed. All right. So in the stock market, really, like Tesla had an exciting day. That was an exciting one, pushing a big level that it hasn't been at in quite a while. Other than that, kind of a quiet, more so of a boring day. At least that's how it felt to me. But hey, tomorrow's always another day. A boring day, I would argue, is still like in our favor. GME green, AMC red. Just lower volume day in the overall market. Definitely a lower volume and lower volatility day in both AMC and GME. It is what it is. Like, not every day is going to be like a gangbuster days. If you happen to catch CEI or Tesla or something like that, huge congrats. I hope you can continue your win streak into tomorrow. Before we go, I do have an announcement for all of you. In the description of the video, there's a link to basically it's going to be another live stream with True Trading Group tonight. We have a whole nother. So like last week we had a big announcement. Today, arguably an even bigger announcement, honestly, and that will be at 7:30 tonight. I tweeted it out earlier, but there's also the link in the description of the video. It's the first link you're going to see right there. But big announcement with them last week, and honestly, a bigger one tonight. So I'm very, very excited. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So just so you know, that's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find the link in the description of the video, but I will be posting an update video tonight. Just in general, you can check that out. Don't forget, we're posting some of these update videos onto Kohrs Lite, that second backup channel, just because like we're having so many problems with YouTube. But KOHRZLITE, it's the picture of the duck. So check that out if you want to get into some of those update videos. Other than that, hey, I'm happy the week's starting off. Happy to hang out with you. And of course, as always, thank you so much for the incredible amount of support. And I'll be catching you later today. I'll be streaming tomorrow at 9 a.m., crack of dawn, right when the farmers get up. We'll be streaming tomorrow. So update video tonight, announcement with TTG tonight, and then streaming tomorrow is kind of the upcoming stuff. But thank you so much for the support. And remember, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.